public comment is now open.
I'll start. My name is David Baldwick. I'd like to speak in favor in support of Mr. Ted Miller as president of this board. There was a, this goes back to its actions being taken because of the board's removal of Mr. Ken Rock, and during that action it was a 3-2 vote. But everybody knows that in matter of personnel, anybody who's done any business knows under personnel issues, the golden rules, the minimal said, and I think this board did an exceptional job of giving the public some information that was that gave them some idea what the issues were, but tried to meet that golden rule. But you know, not to downgrade any of the other board members' comments, but I think Mr. Miller hit it on the head when he said that that his reason is because you can't lose control of the agenda. And I said and I think Ted has understood that, and that's what happened on the previous problem with the water board. The board lost control of the agenda. They allowed the general manager to run the agenda, and it ended up in some criminal actions that the board is still working through now. So with Mr. Miller's short statement that it's critical that the board doesn't lose the agenda, that's what was happening, and I was the target of that loss of the agenda because it had to do something directly with what I did. I was trying to get Virgin River Habitat information on an agenda, and Mr. Rock tried to block it. And so that's, I think, if anybody was paying attention to what was going on at meetings, were coming to all the meetings and understood this, they would have seen exactly what was happening and why Mr. Miller did what he did, and I think it was the most pointed comment and the reason to terminate Mr. Rock. Also in this, I'd like to also bring up a point that I want to, I don't know, file a complaint or make address Mr. Gustavson for your conduct. After the last board meeting, after the special meeting, you didn't like my comments. You didn't like what I was saying against Mr. Rock. So you took it upon yourself as a city council member to approach the chief of police of the city of Mesquite and complain about my conduct at that meeting. And you wanted the police officer investigated for why he didn't kick me out of that meeting. And and that is really abuse of your authority to try to silence an individual making public comment. And you've tried to do this in the past at other meetings here where the board let me continue my speaking at the time. So I want to complain to you personally that misconduct cannot be accepted, and I think you should very much consider stepping down from this board because of that action. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Yeah, could I get an agenda?
Yeah.
Do we have an agenda?
Is there agendas over in the corner? Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Is there any other agenda?
Okay, seeing no other public comment.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Excuse me, Mr. Young.
Anyway, my name is Mike Young. I'm a resident of Mesquite. Spent about 40 years in the water business with the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. Also chairman of the California-Nevada section of the American Water Works Association, which is a professional association. Dealt with a lot of issues very similar to this in the capacity with the American Water Works Association, because many times we were called in. And I would like to say that Mr. Miller and the other members of the board did their job. I mean, they are the ones that we entrust to watch over things for us. We're not here at every meeting. We're not overseeing the staff. Your job is to do that. And if 3 of the board members feel that the actions of Mr. Rock were serious enough to let him go, that's really a pretty strong statement, and they're doing their job. The unfortunate part about it is that the 2 losing members going to the paper and the public and trying to attack the other people, that's not how boards work. Boards should work together. Yes, you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. But when you lose some, you don't make outrageous accusations. And we'll see if they come true. I very much doubt it, because I've come to this meeting a few times and seen the board members and their diligence. And I think they're doing a good job. And I would really like to see the attacks go away. It is not productive at all to anybody. And as representatives of the city of Mesquite, you're representing me in a way because I live in Mesquite. And I think that we ought to consider things like statements, inflammatory statements to the news, just not something that's being done. You ought to hammer things out among yourselves much better. Thank you.
Michelle Burkett, President of the Board, members, citizens. I was sorry that Ken Rock was fired. Water is, of course, one of our most precious resources. And the basin study that he proposed, I felt, was a very smart move, and I was sorry that it didn't get support. And I know you have very tough jobs, so I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob Shively, Mesquite. Try to make this brief, non-controversial. What happened that got so many people inflamed was that there was a violation of the public trust in the handling of the general manager's firing, the mechanics of it, and also that there was not communication, apparently, from the board to each other. There were 3 that acted one way and 2 that acted another way. And it started some discussion, which, if it had stayed in the box, as Mr. Miller was told how to say it, that there would have been no discussion of cause. But the other individuals on the board started talking and talked about cause. Disgruntled employees, didn't like how the contracts are going, different things. That opens up Pandora's box, because now it's a legal determination, not just a little social get-together, and it's obvious that there was not good communication with the board. So we have a 3-2 vote that was carried out, but was it in the public trust area, was it a violation of many of our public trust? Because you serve at our will, as you quoted to Mr. Rock that he served at your will. And I'm saying that you violated my public trust in terms of my experience with corporate and personnel and hiring and firing and the communication and the backup paperwork that it takes to make a decision that doesn't leave you open for legal ramifications. So if we have right now an investigation going on of the AG's office has open cases now coming from various sources about Ken Rock's firing and the mechanics of it, the open meeting law and the mechanics of that, and what was added to the discussion, that it almost seems like that 4 of the members should not take the gavel at all, including the current gavel holder, or any filers of petitions, or any people that voted on the 3 side. But perhaps the only person that can carry forward is the one that has the track record of the gavel, and that is Mr. Gustavson, because it's going to be very important for all of us to keep on a pathway that's ethical, works toward win-win, punishes the right people, or lets everybody go with good understanding of what has happened. And if we fail to do that, we're going to have lots of company here, because we violated so many mechanics of business law, personnel law, the way things were handled, and the way that the vote went with the obvious taping that was done that just showed a picture of body language that was kind of hard to deal with. So I hope I've been fair to all of you. I don't dislike any of you, but I dislike the activity that you guys presented in the firing of Ken Rock and the absolute goring of another human being and then cutting him off at the legs when we don't know exactly what the higher order of investigation is going to say. And so we can't take exactly what your feelings are. We can't take exactly what's going on at the AG level. What we have to do is to make sure that if we're going to have a board up there, all 5 people are talking about the same subjects on the same day and not coming to conclusions, but are doing their job ethically and professionally. And if you fail to do that, we will never, ever have public trust. Thank you.
Okay, not seeing any more public comment.